Welcome back. On your way in, make sure that you comment, subscribe, and like. Comment hello, and then comment later and let me know what you think about the show. We'll have our co-host introduce herself for part two today of the Chantel Christie and Jackie Christie saga, and then we will get started.
Hi, everybody. Happy Taco Tuesday.
So let me tell you, I think they need to call Ayana Fix My Life. I think she need to come back, and she need to come back specifically for these basketball wife people and these reality show people, because number one, it's a lot to put your life in front of all of these people. That's number one. Then number two, when you think it's going to go one way and then it goes a completely different way, because this is what happens. Listen, let me tell you. So have the first people been popular and they commented on this topic and said Chantel was right, most people flock to what others are saying. A lot of people, it would have probably been a 50-50 split, because it's still some of us old school people that I don't care what happens. People that didn't even know what was going on, they kind of looked back and was like, did she just put her hands on her mama? And then in other videos, when they heard how she was talking to her mama, they was like, is she talking to her mama? Honey, I really don't think you would have won this one, but you'd have at least been able to have some type of support, because there was none. So Ayana, you need to fix their life. Why do you think these rich people have all this money and they won't get therapy?
Because they don't think they entitled. So they don't think, I think they feel like ain't nothing wrong with what they doing. They're entitled. That's just period point blank.
I think it's crazy. So one of the questions that the viewers had, and we've already answered it in a prior show, but it was, would you go to therapy with your parents? I would go to therapy with my mom, but I didn't need to because I got therapy on my own. And then from therapy, there's a session or a section where you start to do action items, right? So when you first go to therapy, you spill it all out, let the therapist know where you're coming from, why these things are happening, and you kind of dive into how you see things right now. And then the therapist gives you action items so that you can go back and start kind of fixing those things or learning about different things. Well, a lot of mine had to do with talking to people, so I already did it. Would you go to therapy with your parents?
Mm-hmm. I need to now. Yeah.
Okay. Then
I would.
You would? Do you think that they would go?
I think my mom would.
Okay.
I don't know about my dad. But I think my mom would.
I didn't think about that, you guys. So I need to reverse my answer. A lot of times when I think about how I would answer questions, for those of you that don't know, I have two dads. I have a dad that I knew was my dad until a family member decided to tell me that he wasn't. And then I have my biological dad. If my dad passed away, so I automatically don't think of it with him. Would I have gone to therapy with him? Yes, but I don't think that he would have gone because he's a Taurus. He is a spoiled brat and he does not take ownership. So I don't think that it would have gone well in the space of any one of his kids trying to tell him, the different issues that we have, because we did try to talk to him. My biological father is still alive, but he is very much so a bitch, and I say that with my whole chest because you are. I don't think that he would go because he can't even have a real honest conversation with me. So I don't. When I answer the questions, I'm always just talking about my mom. So, but it is good to think about if you had the opportunity with the parent that is not present, because in Chantel's case, it's actually the mom. Where do you go? That's a good question. The other question is, before we dive into the first clip, is how can we make therapy feel more culturally safe and respected?
I think if you probably find a therapist your race, our race. Yeah. I think that you would feel more comfortable. Maybe even if it's the same sex, like if I found a Black female therapist, I would probably feel, even in my age range, it would probably make me feel more comfortable. So I think for us, it's probably somebody that's African American and probably in our age range.
Yeah.
It'll make you feel more comfortable.
I agree. I think it should mirror the person that makes you the most comfortable in your life, because you want somebody that mirrors that safe space, but is completely biased. So for me, it would be an older person at this age or stage in my life, it would be an older person. The person that I had before that was very good until she wasn't, was of my same age group, had been through the same things, but unfortunately had just come from a space that was damn near identical to mine. And so I believed that her passion grew in that space because she wanted me to do different things. She wanted me to do what she would have wanted to do because she was a little bit ahead of me and kind of saying, don't do this because this is what's going to happen. Don't even try in this space. And so I became more like a little sister to her than actually her patient. And so I let go of that therapy in that space, right? That season was over, but I didn't take anything away from her. And even in my frustration of letting that therapist go, I let her know I actually took a step back and I see it from the way that you're trying to do it. And I think that you're a little too close now because you have become, I really think she became like a big sister. And so it was really difficult for her to hear some of the things that we had discovered. So I understood, but that's a person, that's a human. So every now and then, you do have to have a different type of therapist in each season of your life. So for me now, it would be an elder, kind of that hug one, that one that don't know how to say it no other way but straight. It would probably be somebody like that, like a Medea type. It would be a Medea type. I probably need a therapist from a prison. They probably don't have no chill, huh? Something like that. But let's get into the first clip and then we will dissect it. This is part 2. And part 2 is going to be mostly inclusive of your kids can be toxic too. They can be toxic as children and you need to train them up in the way that they should go. And then if you don't, this is kind of what it looks like when you don't, because Chantel, unfortunately, is very toxic. And to Rose's point, she doesn't see she sees the reasons why she does things, but she thinks that because she's been through something, the reasons why affords her the opportunity to do things. That doesn't give us an excuse, you guys. So first clip, here we go.
My mother passed away that I said to myself, I now have to develop a relationship with my father. When your grandmother passed away, you ran away because you did not want to deal with the heavy work, and it's heavy to all of a sudden at 18 years old, start a relationship with your mom. And what you have done, Chantel, which is no fault of your own, and you said it earlier, you are still a little girl inside processing your experience. And unfortunately, you haven't been able to find the words to articulate it. And you suppressed it, and your anger has manifested.
Absolutely. I read a comment that said, Takari is sad and Chantel is mad. And I said,
ooh, preach.
Clock it.
Preach.
That's what you see manifesting. People, because you don't see me crying and carrying on, you can't have any sort of empathy for me, right? You see the anger and it's like, oh, how could you? But if you don't understand my plight, be grateful for that. I've been through a lot of experiences in my life, and that doesn't excuse my behavior. It doesn't.
You hold full accountability.
Absolutely.
For your behavior.
Absolutely. When I got to that door, I could have and should have turned around and walked out of it. 1000%. When I seen in real life outside of these cameras, you're not going to take accountability. You're not going to acknowledge what you've been doing all season long. Right now, to the outside world, we both look like fools. I just need to go. I couldn't do that.
So I have 2 questions, and I'll ask the questions and I'll let Ro answer them first since I have to explain so much. I will let her talk. So my first question is, Carlos kind of threw out an olive branch and he said, when my mom passed away is when I realized I need to talk to my dad and basically bridge our relationship. The correlation is when Chantel's grandmother passed away, that was an opportunity for her to bridge the gap and learn her mom, so to speak. Her decision was to move away. and not address it. That's number one. You can't go through something without going through it. So my question for that one is, in her answer of saying, basically she's validated in being mad because she's been through some things, so she doesn't have to deal with it. What kind of problems do you think that that imposes on people if you don't go through it?
That's all the questions.
No, that's the first question.
Oh. um, I don't really know how to answer it. I think that you probably, well, she should have to, I don't know. I really don't know how to answer that
Or do
because
you
I've
think that
never
you should
been.
have to go through it?
I do think she should, but then again, she don't. Like, I don't know. I think I would have to actually go through something like that to think like, oh, okay. But me just looking from the outside, she probably should have went through it and then just tried not to escape it, because look at what's going on now.
Mhm.
Like what she's going on now and saying that she only blaming her mom. She's still only blaming her mom and saying like, oh, everybody is saying we both look like fools. No, we're not. We're saying that you look like a fool. Nope. And it's not like I'm seeing Jackie at all. But looking at that, only you look like a fool, not Jackie. But I think she probably should have had to deal with it. She probably should have.
Mhm.
But if you and your parent haven't been getting along and y'all just, sometimes I feel like maybe you don't have to. You just don't have to deal with that person. But just don't deal with the person at all then.
That
Don't
part
deal
of
with them
it.
at all. If you don't want to go through it, then don't deal with them at all. Don't try to get the pros that come along with being her daughter. Even though that's your daddy, like, don't try to get the pros that go along with it. So I guess that's how I feel about it.
So that's how I feel too. So I'll start backwards. I agree with where you landed. For me, that is the final answer, even as it relates to the Bible with honor your mother and your father. Honoring
Mhm.
them could mean separating. Something that my mom always taught me is that she taught me a lot of things, but something that she always taught me is if you don't fuck with somebody, you don't accept nothing from that person either. Because if you do, that's called a user, and it's just not good. If you don't deal with somebody or don't want to deal with them, you don't get to show up in and out when you want to and expect this person to show up in a way that is consistent with a title, like you said, or like she said, but you're not honoring the title. But when you show up, you feel like you are the one who was done wrong. So these certain things should happen for you, right? As an adult, that's not real. As a person, that's not real. Because the part of it where you could have messed up, or it could be seen that you messed up, is that in none of your childhood, how is it that you couldn't get it right? You're the one who got smart with your mom a lot. And I don't take away that your mom said some crazy things to you, but you're the child. How are you bucking up to your mom to the point that you don't live in a house with her? And when you turn 18, you decide you don't want to deal with her, but she's still taking care of you. Those two things can't exist, because if you take in my money, you're going to hear what I have to say, or you're going to respect me. I don't understand. Um, for me as well, not going through things and being able to separate. I really don't like that she went into, I could have done this, but Jackie didn't take accountability. Me knowing that she never takes accountability. You went from, I'm the victim and I know I was wrong for doing this because she. No, how are you wrong? You don't think that you're wrong. And that's where the problem is. Your brain is in two different places because you don't know how to go through things. And when we look at the kids that we talk about now and saying things like the kids of these days are entitled, the kids of these days have attitude, they don't know how to talk, they don't know how to resolve conflict, they're quick to pick up a gun, they're quick to commit suicide, they commit because you don't go through anything. That is adversely hurting you as the person. If you're doing it, you're doing it for you. If you're doing it so you can heal and be whole. That's how I feel about that. Um, second question is at the end, hold on one second, guys. Hold on. Don't laugh. Hold
My
on.
mother passed away, that I said to myself, I now have to develop a relationship with my father. When your grandmother passed away, you ran away because you did not want to deal with the heavy work, and it's heavy to all of a sudden at 18 years old start a relationship with your mom. And you've been, what you have done, Chantel, which is no fault of your own, and you said it earlier, you are still a little girl inside processing your experience. And unfortunately, you haven't been able to find the words to articulate it, and you suppressed it, and your anger has manifested.
Absolutely.
Mm-mm.
I read a comment that said, Takari is sad and Chantel is mad. And I said,
Preach.
clock it.
Preach.
That's what you see manifesting. People, because you don't see me crying and carrying on, you can't have any sort of empathy for me, right? You see the anger and it's like, oh, how could you? But if you don't understand my plight, be grateful for that. I've been through a lot of experiences in my life, and that doesn't excuse my behavior. It doesn't.
You hold full accountability.
Absolutely.
For your behavior.
Absolutely. When I got to that door, I could have and should have turned around and walked out of it. 1000%. When I seen in real life outside of these cameras, you're not going to take accountability. You're not going to acknowledge what you've been doing all season long. Right now, to the outside world, we both look like fools. I just need to go. I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that for the.
So my second question was, when somebody says, I can't do something, and they have full capability to walk away, do you think that that's them deflecting and not taking accountability as well? I can't hear you.
I had it on mute. Yeah, she should have never even came on the show. If you had all them ill feelings towards your mom and all that, you should have never came on Basketball Wives. You did all that on purpose. You didn't have to. You said you should have walked away. You should have never been on the show.
Yes. I think she is primarily focusing on that singular incident, when the reason why people, from what I've gauged in the comments, what I've heard on think pieces, and what I think for myself, you came out the gate cracking with your mama.
From the first episode, when the mom came over there, she was on her. Saying she didn't have a key, which I could understand that, but
that was fine.
Yeah, that was fine. But just even that day, that conversation, she was super disrespectful to me.
It was how she was saying it. No, we're not going to do that. Like things like that. You don't have to say
we shouldn't talk to our parents like that.
Mm-mm.
It don't matter if they raised us or not. Like, that's just respecting your elders.
Right. And so how does she feel like that's not antagonizing Jackie by talking to her like that?
I don't know how she didn't feel like her. I don't know how, because Jackie was the one walking away.
I see it the same way. Let's play the next clip, and then we'll go into the next part of the discussion. There are a total of 4 clips. Here is clip number 2. This girl is something else. Cocky as hell.
Don't touch me. Like, you hear me say, don't touch me. Now, whether or not y'all want to acknowledge that her hand was on my elbow, whether or not you want to acknowledge that I'm upset and I'm angry and I'm just, you can see that I'm spiraling. Never once did she say, you know what, cut the cameras. This is enough. Nothing. You're playing into this too. Never once did you say all bets are off. This is enough. We both could have said that. And neither one of us did. I know my reason for it. Because in my mind, at this big age, I'm finally standing up to this person that I have all of this anger towards. Mm-hmm. I'm not backing down. If that means that this has to be here on this stage in front of all these people, I don't care. Because I know that I'm confronting this problem in my life for once. But for you, who clearly you take this as a game, you could have removed yourself from this situation. You sitting here on the couch scrolling on your phone, waiting for the next showdown. But I'm the problem, because a lot of us in specifically Black households are raised to believe, or are raised on the belief, do as I say, not as I do. Mm-hmm. Have respect for your parents at all times. It doesn't matter what they say, what they do. I think that there's a new generation of kids and adults that are coming and that are happening that are not going for that anymore. I need to respect you because you're my parent, but you have got to give me something to respect. Mm-hmm. Why do I have to respect you just because of your title? Mother, father, sister, brother, cousin, husband, I'm not going to accept anybody else's toxic behavior simply because of their title. I'm not doing it. If that means that I'm a messed up person, if that's how y'all want to view me, I'll be okay. The sun will rise tomorrow. I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna take my kids to school. I'm gonna make my husband I'm gonna go on about my life because I know my truth and I know my intentions. If I had came on here with the intent to embarrass her, to out her, to talk down about her, etc., maybe I would feel embarrassed or like, damn, like she really foiled my plans. Everybody's saying, oh, you came on here with the intent to embarrass your mom and you failed. I didn't fail. I freed myself.
She double talked in that clip. She said she knows her intentions and they were not to come on and embarrass her mom. She also said, in that moment, I didn't lose. I freed myself. She said she stood there and did the shit on camera because she was addressing her problem. Did she not say that?
Yep.
Okay. She said Jackie could have said, cut the cameras and do all of these things. And
she could have too. And she could have too.
But wait a minute. Didn't Jackie tell her to get out of the room? Didn't Jackie tell her to stop? That is the same thing as cut the cameras, is it not? But Chantel kept going. Not only did she keep going, she went to the door and then doubled back. So how is that we both could have? Jackie did. She said to get out, to stop, and you still kept going. So what would that have done?
Nothing. That's what it did. Because even if that girl went on there to do that, period, point blank. She went on there to do that.
So we all saw her on the last one, also at the elevator, when she followed her mom out to the elevator.
Yep.
How was Jackie wrong in that?
Jackie kept trying to leave.
So Jackie could say cut the camera so you could still continue to behave that way, but it's just not caught on camera and you then can lie about her. Had they actually cut those cameras, just like you went downstairs and lied to Ming and them, Jackie would have had no proof. That's the only reason you're talking about cutting a camera, because she did cut the conversation. Why is she not getting credit for that? You're a liar. You literally just said, I could have walked away, but in that moment, I wanted to stand there and you didn't care about the cameras. That's what you just said in that same clip. Then you talked about the new generation. The new generation is spoiled and you are the queen. We are going to crown you the queen of this new generation and the new era of people that are completely disrespectful. I know people that have crackheads as parents and they respect their parents more than you just respected that woman. And you have not told us a single thing that is so terrible that you would need to talk to your mom like that and treat her like that. Because if it was, you could have did the first thing. See, what I don't like is when you could do the first thing and it won't lead into the other things, but you don't want to start at the first thing. The first thing is what Rose said. You could have not went on the show. You knew you wasn't fucking with your mama like that. She thought you was. She thought y'all was cool. You didn't have to go on the show. But you did. You're talking about your mom touching you and you saying, don't touch me, don't touch me. How many times did she tell you to get the hell out? So if she did take your arm and try to escort you out, at that point, because I've told you to get out of my room 13 times and now I've had to get up, I need to understand why you think that your boundaries and what you want is more important than her boundaries in her space and what she asked for to stop it. How is that more important, Ro?
It's not.
Mm-mm. I don't
But
understand.
I think she went on Carlos King to try to do damage control, but it's like, girl, everybody didn't already seen everything, so it's nothing that you can say to make us be on your side. It wasn't even no need for her to come on there because she's not taking accountability. She's still blaming everything on Jackie. So it's like, girl, what did you come on here for?
And yet,
You should have just kept doing what you're doing, waking up every morning, taking your kids to school, and doing for your husband. You should have never went on Carlos King.
I can't make this make sense in my head at all. I've watched it again a couple of times because I am not, listen, I'm a daughter. I don't have a daughter. KB is like my daughter. Yes, I raised her in this very household since the day she came out. I have been in that baby's life. That is, and a couple of other goddaughters. However, I've never had those problems with respect. I haven't. So I don't understand. So all I could think of is how I would treat my mother. All I could think of is people that I know personally that I watched them go through so much with their parents and they still honored their parents. And in times when
Right.
they couldn't deal with their parents, it was either I can't do this right now, they separate, something like that. But I personally have never seen anybody go smooth the hell off on their parents. I've seen them walk away instead of doing it. But you went on a national television show and you just said you stood there because you were facing your problem. Don't you think you should face your, why did you call her a problem? Mm, that's interesting. I don't think she did. I don't think she has PR. I think she came on that show to try to be, um, I am better. I know what I'm doing. You guys don't understand the way they cut it. Girl, it ain't no way they could
Yeah,
have cut the
because
words that
even
take.
if I could understand if she's saying she disliked Jackie for not raising her with X, Y, and Z, but you didn't ever, like you said, you ain't never told us what Jackie actually did to you. You haven't told us. Because as far as we know, Jackie treated you better than the other daughter.
Because that's what the other daughter says.
Yeah. So now tell us what Jackie actually did to you. Because we
Probably
still
hold
don't
you
know.
accountable. Probably not allow you to talk the way that you talk. Probably not want to deal with your attitude. I haven't either. And some parents need to be told things. And you could tell them without cussing them out. Most people don't even feel right cussing their parent out. And that's totally aside from, I know that there are people that grew up where that's just how they talk to each other. So it's completely normal. You actually fight your mom, you fight your dad. That's completely different, right? That's the worst side of things. But on a bigger scale, most people in every culture, the mother is the one you don't really talk to like that.
Yeah,
Because
you don't. That's why
you
I said it
know,
don't even matter what's going on, what relationship you had. Just in the Black community, you don't talk to your parents like that.
mm-mm.
Like I'm saying, they'll be planning a funeral.
Girl, you'll be on a t-shirt. You'll be on a t-shirt, and the parent might burn the t-shirt because it don't make sense. So let's listen to this next clip because poor Chantel. I don't see this going well for her. And the purpose of this topic is to say, parents, we hear you. Parents, we understand. And for the parents that are bringing up kids, hopefully, if you see any of these traits in your children, you don't just bypass them. These are things that you need to correct because they can grow into being worse things. At this point, kids are very much smarter. None of that, oh, they're just a toddler. Oh, they're just a kid. Okay, that's your business, but don't want other
Mhm.
people to deal with it because a lot of these kids have these traits when they fucking small. And because you don't correct it or you think it's cute or things like that, or it's funny, it's not funny. It's not funny at all. And your job as a parent, if you are following the Bible, because I follow the Bible, That is not what you're supposed to do. Y'all trying to be your kid's friend or become famous on TikTok or YouTube or all of these things, and the shit just ain't cute. And you don't like it when they get around 5 or 6 and they really can compose some sentences. Then it's out of control. And don't let them get to a teen. Jesus. It gets bad. Then they're going to call. You might want to get to them before they learn how to call the CPS on y'all. That's what you might want to do. But we hear you, parents. But you got to hear yourself. You got to fix it because this shit is out of control. She's not going to get better unless she goes to therapy or her daughter starts to behave away. And she's so honorary, I don't even think it would click then. Clip 3. Here we go.
In the same space for extended periods of time in years. Years. This is not somebody that I'm seeing and everything is great off camera and then I get on camera and I code switch on you. That's not what happened. We were not locked in. We were not where we are now by any means necessary, or I never would have agreed to come and do the show. But I think that I had high hopes that I've been on this show before. I had to sit down with Laura. I've had all the drama with the other girls and all of these things. I can come on and show the growth. I can show, okay, like, no, we definitely don't have the best history. We definitely don't have, we have a very checkered past, but we're moving forward. We're trying to move forward. So when my mom reaches out and the producers reach out, this is months in the making. And the first several times I said, no, I'm a newlywed. I have this new baby. Like, I don't need this. Respectfully, like, I get it. Everybody said I did this for a check. Was I appropriately compensated for my time? Absolutely. I wasn't going to do it for free. But did I need this? No. My husband takes impeccable care of his family. So I didn't come on here for the sake of a check to embarrass Jackie. That's not the way that this played out. Y'all came and found me. I was in Arizona, out the way for years. I was never in the blogs. I was never in no drama. I was out the way for years. I was living a happy, peaceful life, letting my husband love on me, letting my kids build memories, and I was good. Y'all came and found me. I turned it down multiple times. And through continued encouragement and petitions and so on and so forth from my mom, oh, come on, Vanna, we're going to do this. It's going to be great. It's going to be positive. Come make your little money and go on about your business. I'm talking to my husband about it. I'm like, what do you think? He's like, I mean, I don't know. You know, same thing my dad said. You know how y'all could get. I don't know if it's the best idea, but if you
Your father wasn't even into the idea.
Wow, hell no. All right now, because he knows, like, we don't have the best track record. We don't have the closest relationship. And he knows that we're both firecrackers in that way. He knows his child and he knows I'm not going to back down. And once you take me to that point, I could give up about these cameras and anything else. I don't play like that.
So, what do you have to say?
She should have still turned them down. If you said you was turning them down that many times and they came to find you, you could have kept saying no and living your life, letting your husband love on you and your children make memories. You didn't have to come on there. Nobody made you go on there. You should have kept saying no.
That's another deflecting thing, because with the way that we have seen you talk to Jackie and shut her down like you did about the key, you were very adamant. When your no's are no's, Chantel, your no's are no's. If you did not want to do the show, you would have told your mom no, because your mom asked you to do it, but the two most important people in your life told you not to do it. So you mean to tell me you did it because your mom wanted you to, but you didn't do it, and your husband and your father told you not to because you guys are not in a good place? Take your ownership and tell the reason why you did it, the real reason, because you just admitted that they told you not to. That's number one. Number two, y'all had to be cool enough to have conversations, and you mentioned it. You said we would text every now and then. I would come out to Sacramento, like if my dad wanted to take the kids places and things like that. So you did have a relationship. So what you should have realized at that point is maybe the healthiest relationship for you guys wasn't an extended period of time around each other. Maybe that was the answer. Whatever it was, you had the pertinent conversations before you went on the show, and you did not take it because you want to do what you want to do because you wanted to go on and embarrass your mom. You were probably hoping that y'all would get into it again because you came out hot. So you are not telling the truth at all. You wanted to embarrass Jackie. Because that makes no sense. Did that make sense to you? Why wouldn't she listen to her husband and her dad?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You should have kept saying no. Nobody put a gun to your head and made you do that.
At all.
Leave it alone.
That really does not make any sense to me. Guys, I think that, not even I think, I know. I was having a discussion with somebody the other day, and I was saying how a lot of situations that some people don't find themselves in is because they don't take the initial bait, right? If you know, I'll use myself as an example. There is a family member who I have decided I do not want to be around under any circumstances at all. I care if this person is okay. I don't want anything to happen to this person. But for me, I am not in a good space because this person is an asshole. I do not want to be around them because my maturity level is decreasing every time I'm around this person, right? When somebody starts bothering you and they're a person that's a trigger, you can handle them in small dosages, right? But even if you see them once every 2 months, now it's become a consistent 2 months and they do the same thing every 2 months. So it decreases your ability to walk away from situations because it's like, damn, at every event, this person does something, right? So if you know every time I film with my mom, it's going to be something. Either it's going to be a word that triggers me from the past, or it's going to be something that she's not even directly doing. But at this point, I can't deal with my mom. It's not actually on the person that is doing the irritating to change. It's actually on you to change because you control your environment as best as you can. My decision was I'm not going to anything family oriented where this person will be because I know me. And the next thing I am going to do is hurt this person. And it won't be with my words, or it might be a combination. I don't know. But if I know this already, why would I set myself up and say, you know what, I'm going to go anyway? Because that true internal factor would be, I'm going to go because I wish they would. Because on this occasion, I'm going to do this. Be honest. You're going because you're kind of hoping that it happens because you really want to let that shit off. Let's just be honest. You want to get it off. You want to. You really do. So you need to stay away. That is actually the mature thing and the good thing to do. Now, if I'm in a situation and a person pops up, I'm pretty good at taking my own car so I can just leave and I'll do my best. But I am not intentionally walking into any space where that person will be. She should have been seeing stars with that mouth. I saw stars before and have. All I said was hump. That's not even a word. And I was sitting next to my granny, and the next thing I knew, hold on, it's not coming up. Literally saw blackness and white spots. True story. Listen, elders don't play with the being disrespectful. We couldn't even say you a liar. Shut up. Certain things are very disrespectful to say, and our youth don't even know what those things are, or respect what those things are. Everything is a joke. The worst one for me is on God. That shouldn't be a saying, but okay. I just, it was no real part of this that I could agree with Chantel, but there were places where I could take lessons and say, we got to tighten up. We got to do better. And this is a very clear indication that her parents didn't parent right. I'm sorry. Jackie needed your help. And Jackie, maybe sometimes you shouldn't have been on the road with Doug. But I wouldn't have. Do you think that maybe Jackie, because I guess at one point they was arguing, and Jackie told Chantel that she hated her. And so I was like, this shit, and that's not okay at all. And it's also not okay when a child says it, but they usually start around 4 or 5 when you don't give them what they want. But do you think part of Jackie preferring to be on the road with Doug is because Chantel was such a difficult child that she knew leaving? Like, do you think she
No,
gave
I
up
don't
hope?
think so. I think she was just being a basketball wife. You know, they're with their husband. Well, maybe back because I was about to say the ones now be at home. That's why they be cheating all the time. Jackie probably just wanted to be with her husband all the time. It felt like it was okay for her kids to be with the mom. Just think back in the days, it was okay for your kids to still be with your parents. Like
Right.
that wasn't nothing wrong. And
Right.
I don't know if Jackie never had them at all or if it was just during the basketball season. Like,
It was just during the basketball season because Chantel made the comment that she used to leverage saying, if you don't clean your room, your dad is going to be mad. And she even thought that was bad. I don't see how that's bad, but she would say things like, your dad is going to be mad. So that must mean she was at home with them.
right.
I think the mother must have lived in the house, in their house.
Maybe. That's what I'm saying. So you making it a big, that's what I'm saying. We don't even have a clear scripture of what happened, why you don't like your mom and you have all this hatred toward her. We don't even really know why.
She was making sure he didn't cheat like she was. She wasn't cheating. Neither one of them cheated. Actually,
Jackie was just, Jackie was 10 toes down for Doug. So that's just how she was. Like I said, most basketball wives are with a husband.
Yeah.
Most of them are with a husband. So I don't really see nothing wrong. Or if all the family is together, they have nannies and stuff. Like, so what's the difference?
Exactly. And
I'd
that's
rather
what I'm
my
trying
kids
to
be
do.
with the grandma than with a nanny.
Me too. Even military families, a doctor. The people Kasha used to nanny for was regular working people. Like the dad would be an architect, the wife would be a doctor. But with those hours at any career these days, it's no more 9 to 5. The building don't close at 5. You got to sometimes stay. You sometimes have dinner meetings. Those are real meetings that you go to where you call your spouse and you hear a bar in the background. They're really at a dinner meeting and they have to go hobnob with people to get contracts, to be up for that next promotion because they want to see how you are. Those are things that are a requirement of everyday jobs as well. So I think that what this girl wanted was a fairy tale in her head because it's not real. Unless you have a parent that's a teacher and has your same exact hours. Hell, most of us was latchkey kids. Most of us, we didn't come home to our parents being there all the time. They had to
That's
work.
all. We
So,
never did. We never did.
yeah, at post office, that people don't understand that runs all night. Police officer, fireman. There's other people. That's why I'm like, while she talking about what she's been through, where you
And we
mad
don't
because
hate our parents for that.
I
Like,
know. Mother said that all the time. Wait till your father. Exactly. That's why I'm saying I can't really correlate the things, especially from somebody who spits such venom. And when she was asked once, like, or people were saying, she has the right to apologize in the way that she wants to apologize, right? And why are people so adamant on she didn't apologize correctly and all of this? Let me just say how I feel. If you one of them people that's a straight shooter that speak with so much in your voice, like me, somebody that doesn't hold back when something is wrong, when you could continuously say she don't take accountability, she don't take accountability. We are looking for you to show us how it's done. Show us. Because
right.
that's what we're looking for. We're looking for what you keep saying out of your mouth, even in this interview, over and over. She should do it. She should do it. We're looking to see that from you. And not once did you give a full, even answer that incorporated a real apology, that incorporated where you was wrong. It always shifted back to Jackie. It did. And that's not an apology. Show us what you wanted her to do because you owe her that. You loud as hell and you've been loud all season. So when people are asking, or some YouTubers are saying, well, she can do it however she wants. No, baby, that's not what we expecting from you. Because you could have had a damn bullhorn as much as you wanted her to basically break down on her to her kneecaps after all the shit you did. You should. I don't understand how she looked back at this shit. The elevator one, it took me a minute to get through that one because I said, are you following your mama to the elevator? Y'all, I don't know
I
if you grew
watched
up
it,
in
but after that,
Iowa.
I barely watch Basketball Wives. But I watched those episodes, and I was just like, mm-mm. That's why when I seen that she was doing that Carlos King, I was like, I would not waste however many hours to watch her on here. And I'm glad that I did it because she still didn't take no accountability. Like, girl, you were dead ass wrong. Period,
It was
point blank. There's
definitely
nothing you
true.
can say that's gonna make us change our mind. You're wrong, period.
For the whole season. We
Yes,
would
you
like you
were
to know
wrong
we're
for
not
the
talking
whole,
about just that.
just everything. Being friends with people that was talking about your mama. Like, girl, you should have never came on the show. Because if I was a sister, if I was just a sister, I would have made an appearance on that show. Well, I guess we wouldn't have known until afterwards, but
And
we would have a problem.
so that's the other thing she said. When she said, I sat down and wanted to have a real conversation. Y'all want to know what that real conversation entailed? It entailed her having a conversation with her mother the night before where her and her mom was talking about the incident that happened between her and Brandy. And she told Jackie to stay out of it. If me and Ro talk after this show and me and Ro get into it tomorrow, do you think Ro is going to come back on the show and say, well, tell him what you said, Asia. Tell what you said about him. That's what the real conversation was about. The real conversation wasn't about them two. It was about, well, what was you telling me about Brandy last night? At that point, I don't know about you, twin, but at that point, you're not my daughter no more. At that point,
Yeah.
we're talking like women. It's so many times to me, y'all wasn't mother and daughter. You put yourself in a situation and still told her. So, bitch, we're women right now. You're not my daughter. And then you got mad. Not that I won't love you like my daughter. What I'm saying is the conversation will be conducted as a grown ass woman. Because are you outing? I told you that as my daughter in confidence. And then you came out and brought it out on the show. And then you wanted to call that a real conversation. And then say it was for TV. Girl, my mama at my grown age would have popped me in my mouth. As soon as I said, what was we talking about last night? I wouldn't have finished out of my mouth. My mama would have popped me in my mouth. Because what? And then you have the nerve to want to call that a real conversation where you're trying to have a conversation with your mom. So you damn right she got up and walked away. Because everybody got mad at her for not jumping in the altercation between you and Brandy that you told her to stay out of. And then y'all started yelling at her for not jumping in it. Jackie didn't know if she was coming or going in that scene. And they all just sat there. Shawnee with her trifling ass too. At this point, I don't like Shawnee. Because you messy, pastor's wife.
Yeah, I've been said Shawnee should not even be an executive producer over a show like this, and you're a first lady.
Because as a first lady, with you being present, you absolutely are responsible to say something. You're like an elder and you're supposed to guide. So you should have said
But
something.
she don't even need to be on a show like that.
Agreed.
It don't matter.
Agreed.
I don't think she should be on a show like that. A first lady, like, no, girl, no.
What? So the affair with Chris Webber is a lie, and Doug not being her dad that's Doug's child. She looks just like Doug and Christie, and Jackie. The Chris Webber one, I don't know about that.
They said that was fake too.
Okay. Yeah, see, I don't know that one. But I know for sure that girl looked exactly like a combination if they just put their faces on top of each other.
Doug and Chantel.
Yes, looks like Doug and Christie.
Yeah, she do. She looked like Doug and Jackie. And if you close your eyes, you would think you was listening to Jackie.
No, for real. And sometimes when she turns from a different view, I'm like, dang, even your profile. Like if she turned a certain way, she look identical to Jackie, and then turn a little bit more, and I see Doug. Yeah, she looks like them for sure. So last clip, and then we are out. Y'all, don't be disrespectful to your parents. Honor thy mother and father, and your days will be longer. I'm not trying to cut my days in short because I cuss out my mama. I didn't even cuss out my daddy. I had my mama call for me. Here we go.
Did you call me impressionable? When we were in Vegas, was you talking about Brandy? She knows I'm a very logical person. I'm going to ask, and I know everybody was eating me up because I used rhetorical wrong. I did. I'm not gonna hold you. I did. I definitely did. Watching it back, I said, well, I didn't go to college, so y'all got that. Y'all ate me up. Okay, fair enough. But that's all right. I need to do better next time. But the point is that because you know that you've got me to this point of like, she knows me in a lot of ways, right? You know that I'm not going to be able to properly articulate myself because now I'm mad. Now I'm not worried about story. I'm not worried about buttoning this up. I'm not worried about explaining it to the viewers. Now I'm just looking at you, mother to daughter, like, are you serious right now?
I now have a greater understanding of all of this. I don't know why all of a sudden this hit me too, which is strange, but it just has. Your mother, your birth mom, this is your mother, where you two have had a very complicated relationship. You're now on a show where your mother, as you have admitted, your mother is the legendary, one of the greatest reality stars of all time, because yes, to be a reality star icon, there is a certain level of experience where you're able to know cameras on, move a certain way. And I now understand that I have no idea what it would feel like if a daughter comes on her mother's platform,
right,
that she has excelled at from day one.
Right.
And you're in, yes, I played here and there, other seasons, we did that, boom, boom, boom. But this is a full-time job. You asked me to do it. I'm trying to like have a real moment with you. And I now understand why you felt like at that time I'm being played. And when your mother is sitting down and she's like trying to talk to you, I now understand that for you, right or wrong, I'm not here judging you or your mom,
right,
but I now understand. As you're sitting down wanting to have a real conversation with your mother,
right,
your mother getting up was a way in your mind at that time of, you're playing in my face.
1,000%.
And you know this is going to get me to react.
And you know that this is going to send me off. You are literally...
Carlos was telling that girl what to say. He should have just shut up and let her talk. He's giving her scenarios. Like, Carlos, you should have shut up. Because she agreeing with everything you said because you're telling her what to say. Oh, now I get it. No, you don't get it. Because I still don't get it. No, he should not have said nothing.
I agree with you 100%. Let's see. She should have left like Jackie asked. He needs to stop. Baby, that was one of the main ones that was for me like, y'all just gonna let this girl, or you're just gonna keep letting this girl be toxic, because
none of like you shouldn't have said nothing.
She literally started out with a conversation that's for TV, not your daughter and mother, and you allowed it to flow into that. No, she sat down and wanted to have a real conversation when she sat down before you hit her and said, tell me what's wrong, Chantel. See, that's a real conversation. Tell me what's wrong. Say what you need to say, and open the floor completely up. And you didn't want to talk then. That was a real conversation. You talking about tell me what happened between you and Brandy. That's a petty, and you started that shit. You poked her first. And please explain to me how she knows you so well. How does she know you well in that space? Because that means you've been doing this shit your whole life. Because how does she know you? You don't know her. According to you, she's never there. So you just also admitted yet again that you behave that way. I found it to be very interesting. Then I have an interesting question as well. You came on her platform where she's legendary and she's the icon. Does that mirror the space of your home where she's amazing in the home? She's the queen and the wife and amazing and the best friend, and you don't like that she's doing well? Sounds to me like you have a problem with your mom and you're upset and you came on to make everybody hate her. and you really wanted it to work in your favor. But every time you tried to push your mama over the edge, I'm not doing this with you. I'm not doing this with you. And she walked away. And I believe that angered you. What do you think, Rose?
I'm just tired of her. I do not like that girl. Like,
Because Shanice comes on with Evelyn, and Evelyn got all the business to tell if she want to tell it. They don't get into it on camera. Shanice respects her mom no matter what. So I need to understand. You don't want to respect your mom. It's very clear. It's very clear, honey.
And I'm gonna keep saying it over and over. You ain't told us why you hate your mama like that. Maybe if you explain that to us, maybe we'll have a change of heart. But all we see is you being disrespectful.
Do you know I took it out twice because that's actually the question, something similar to what Carlos said, and those is the answer she gave. She never answered the question. He actually asked in 2 of those clips, he said, what are some of the things that happened? Well, tell me more about it. And those are the answers she gave. I took it out because I'm like, that's just too embarrassing. You already saying bad things. And this comes on the heels of him saying, well, tell me what it was like. You didn't answer the question.
Yeah, she should have. That was a waste of airtime.
I think she is. I think she's very jealous of her mom. I do. That's why she needed to make it clear. I was doing fine. My husband takes care of us very well. Your husband is in Germany, boo thing. And you're not over there.
Where are we at in Germany?
Germany, I think it was Germany. Germany, the UK, Ukraine.
So he's not in the NBA. He's on that whatever.
Czechoslovakia. Let me see. I will tell you.
What is it called? The other, not D League. Is it D League?
Mm-mm.
Well, it ain't the NFL. Hell, I mean, I'm talking about NFL, NBA. It's not the NBA.
I don't believe so. They said he's overseas. Jaquan Jeffries. And he's with the Hornets now.
Oh, okay.
He's with the Hornets now. Let's see. Where did he play? Where's the Hornets?
I think Orlando.
But she stays in Arizona.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know where the Hornets is.
Could be. Drafted by.
Charlotte? Girl, I don't know. You know, I don't even watch basketball.
Let's see. Hornets. And don't be typing it all in the chat 67 times. As if I'm not looking it up right now. That's going to be funny. Oh, Charlotte. Then why is she in Arizona?
Where is it at?
Charlotte.
Oh, it is in Charlotte.
Yeah, he was right.
Oh, so I was right. Look, I don't even watch basketball.
Yep, it was right. It was right. Good grief. Okay, perfect. That's what I see. Yes. So in conclusion, for me, I feel so bad for parents that have toxic children because I can't imagine trying to raise a spoiled brat. And no, money don't fix everything, but I don't see her walking away from that life because look at her and the other daughter. If she truly just cared about being happy and all of that stuff, you made sure to reap the benefits of that space. Like the sister said, you made sure to go get you a basketball husband and be happy with all of that. But you didn't do like she did. She didn't want to be involved in certain things, and she wanted to be able to do it on her own to where she wouldn't have to rely on her mom for whatever the reasons were with her. And she legit is still doing it on her own. You, on the other hand, like Rose said, you don't want to respect your mom or build your mom up or allow her to be a grandmother. But you were before the show started. But anyway, or do any of those things, but you want the benefits of that space and of what your mom can do for you. Because it's no damn way. If I was living my life free of everything that I've ever been through, and my mom is this terrible person, why would you walk back into the fiery pits of hell if you're taken care of? and you've been leading this life that you've balanced out how much you can take of her? Why would you do that, Rose?
I wouldn't.
Me neither. Would y'all do it for money? Because she's saying she didn't do it for money.
It ain't even worth the money. It's not worth it.
Yeah, for money or revenge, because it's a reason, and it might not be the money. It might be revenge. It might be that you thought you were going to go on there and you was gonna poke Jackie where people couldn't see it, and then Jackie was gonna be the one to flip out, so then you could have your validation in public. That's why you mentioned and cut the cameras off and stuff like that, when she technically did tell your bad ass to get out and you didn't get out. And she told you several times, and then you walked back. That's on you, honey, because that scene would have been over had you just walked out. That is another place of accountability that you cannot share with your mom.
Right.
Because you kept talking. So even whatever she was saying in the middle of you still ranting, she had the right to say, she actually had the right at that point. For me, I would hope I would never get there with me and my mom. But if I was like that at that point, she had the right to say, bitch, shut the fuck up and get out before I get up and knock you out. She did. Because you were talking to your mother like she was a bitch on the street. You said a bunch of shit, Chantel, that you shouldn't have said. So you made yourself look like a fool. Gotta own your own stuff, girlfriend. That's your business. That's my final word. Start owning your own shit. And people with these toxic kids, I am so sorry. And parents that need to work through it together, stop being that parent that says, well, they don't treat me like that, so it's not that big of a deal to you. You should care how they're treating your spouse, because ultimately their behavior is going to translate into bad things for them. She probably can't actually work for nobody. She probably can't actually take orders. She probably would actually get fired. So it's a good thing she has the life that she has and the dad she has. I don't think she could survive out in the real world. I think a regular person might pop her. That's just me. What do you think, Rose? For your final words.
That she ain't gonna be on this earth longer. She's taking a lot of days off of her life. That's my final words. She trifling. You took a lot of days off of your life by being disrespectful.
And hold you doubling down, my girl. You doubled down. You shouldn't have went on that show. You should have took some more time to think about it, and you should have talked to your dad or a PR person on what to say or something, because you didn't do well, like in any part of it at all. You didn't explain nothing. So that's it from us. Join us next week for a different topic on Tuesday at 7 p.m. as well. In the meantime, you can go to Amazon and buy any one of my journal coloring books. The next one will be coming out at the end of this month. My goal is to have 20 of them done by the end of the year. I don't know why I say stuff out loud, because then sometimes I be getting robo. But I think I'm good right now. I think I could do it. Yeah, I think I could do it. Go check them out. They're super cute. And I did all the images and the affirmations and the design and the letters that I wrote to you. They're really from me. So that is it. So have an amazing night. Make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, and share. And we will see you next Tuesday. Good night.